Hey, you kids, get off my lawn. Let's see what we did. Let's see your mobile phone for initiative. Do as I say. What's up, a frowny face? Go out and play. Just like your parents did. Just like your parents did. As if your parents did.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Gen Gamers, the podcast that looks at the weird and wild history of gaming. I am co-host number 1, Jed. Co-host number 2, as always, is Ashley. Hello.
Goodbye.
Wait a minute, what? How could I have offended you that quickly?
I just wanted to be different.
Fair enough. Today, what are we talking about?
Best games stranded on a console. So I wrote a little intro. The stranded on a single console graveyard is where some of the best, weirdest, and honestly, they can also be the shittiest exclusive games are buried. Some of these titles deserve second life, some of them don't, but the ones that do deserve second life are locked away on consoles nobody kept. Disc rot ticking like a time bomb while we wait for a miracle port that'll probably never happen, or if it does happen, it'll probably make the game exponentially worse.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Really. The only thing I will add is this is a topic. This was when I first came up with the idea for this podcast, this was one of my first topics that I wrote down on a master list of all the topics that I wanted to hit because of 2 games. I did have to find more to fill out the list, but there were 2 games specifically that I wanted to talk about because there's no other opportunity I can foresee that I will ever get the chance to talk about them. So.
Yes, thank you for putting me through this, which is like, this was the hardest episode for me to put together so that you could talk about 2 games, Jed. Thank you.
I mean, I'm good. I have 7, but I just really wanted to talk about these 2. Oh, you can send me hate mail, I'm sure, or nasty text or something once we're done.
I don't do that. That's mean.
All right, let's begin. What's your first one?
Parasite Eve on PlayStation 1. It's basically like, what if Resident Evil had turn-based combat and body horror out of like a Cronenberg fever dream? I feel like it's weird, it's gross, it's brilliant, but it is stuck on the PlayStation 1. There's no remake. Square Enix refuses to acknowledge that the game exists. Like, it owes them money.
I remember when that game came out, I was working at Software Etc. at the time. If I remember correctly, it was the first game that Squaresoft put out after Final Fantasy VII. And everybody wanted it because it was not the follow-up to Final Fantasy VII in the strictest sense, but, the next game from. So there was this expectation of, it's going to be like Final Fantasy VII. We got so many people trading it in because they were disappointed that it wasn't Final Fantasy VII. And I was so thrown off by the fact of, you just wanted the same again? Like, why would you do that? Why, if you want to play Final Fantasy VII again, play fucking Final Fantasy VII again. This is a different game.
Tell them how you really feel.
It just mystified me. Like, they bought it on reputation and they didn't like what they got. It's just a weird mentality. I don't quite get that.
Yeah.
All right. My first game, and this is one of the 2 that I wanted to talk about. I believe you said that you're not going in generational order. I am, just because I had it written down that way already. My first game is Star Castle. This is the original game came out in 1980 as an arcade. Star Castle is a single player shooter, kind of has the same perspective as Asteroids, where you're it's kind of like a top down and you're a little tiny spaceship. And in the dead center of the screen, there's a turret. And the turret is protected by 3 concentric circles. And the idea to get to the next level is you have to shoot parts of the shield to open up the turret and be able to destroy it. You don't want to shoot an entire ring because then the ring will regenerate. You want to strategically shoot parts of the shield that will allow a pathway to get in, but that will also allow the turret to fire back. And there's also these homing mines that kind of chase you around and try to fuck you up and prevent you from being able to take out the shield. The whole thing was done in vector graphics, like asteroids. So everything's made out of lines. This thing only got one home port, and that is to the incredibly obscure system, the Vectrex. If you don't know what a Vectrex is, listeners, I don't blame you. It was a very, very weak competitor to the Atari 2600. It was a system that only did vector graphics. All of the games on it were vector graphics. And it was built in, like when you bought it, it was built into a TV, a very small TV, like it was a CRT monitor. I want to say an 11-inch screen, give or take. So you bought it and you got the TV with it, and it was a black and white TV. So if you wanted color, there were these overlays, these kind of transparent film overlays that you would have to stick onto the screen, and that would provide color. And yeah, that was Star Castle's one and only release. You can emulate it on a Vectrex emulator. It doesn't feel right though. Like, I don't know, something about it is weird. I loved Star Castle as a kid, and it always annoyed me that it didn't come out on any system that I knew about. And I didn't find out about the Vectrex until I was an adult. And now finding a working Vectrex is fucking impossible. Like, I don't have the kind of money to find a working Vectrex.
Yet.
Yeah. My get rich quick schemes have not kicked in yet.
Just wait until the podcast blows up in 25 years.
Right. I won't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'll be rich. All right. What's your next game?
3DS Kid Icarus Uprising. It's like, what if we made a rail shooter that gives everybody carpal tunnel? What I mean by that is it's really chaotic and it's fast, but it's funny and a good game. But you do need a wrist brace to play it, which is probably why Nintendo never touched it again. It's still stuck on 3DS where it lives like a cryptid.
I always felt sorry for the Kid Icarus franchise. But
Why?
Because it's so neglected. There's the NES game. Sure. There's Kid Icarus Uprising. I could swear there's a third game on Wii that I can't recall at the moment. And that's it. It's gotten what? 2 games, 3 tops in 40 years?
Maybe it's because they flew too close to the sun.
Nice mythology reference. All right, my next game is from the NES. It is Willow. This is based on the movie. It's an action RPG, very, very similar to the original Zelda, although a little more refined than the original Zelda. Like, think about how similar Link to the Past is to the original Zelda. Willow stands kind of in between those. Not as refined as Link to the Past, but more mechanically sound than the original. Willow travels alone, does have more RPG elements to it. There is an experience system. You learn spells, you gain upgraded weapons, upgraded armor. But the interesting thing is, none of the items that you get are paid for. There is no currency system in it. Everything you find, every item that you get to improve Willow is found in the wild, which is very odd. And it's just a fun little game. Like, it's this overlooked RPG that will never get a re-release because it's a licensed game. And considering how poorly licensed games were on the NES, there was no expectation for this game to be as good as it is. And I'm not trying to sell it like it's Chrono Trigger or the next great RPG or anything, but for the time, it was better than it had any right to be. And it will never see the light of day because of the movie license.
Boo.
There's so many licensed games that could be listed too. Cool Spot, Yonoid. So many licensed games that went way harder than you ever expected. And yeah. All right, what's your next one?
I picked Gran Turismo 5 for the PlayStation 3 because I actually really like this one. We got car damage. But yeah, this one, it got stuck on the PS3. I think the last one I looked at was 7, which you can get on 2 different PlayStations. So I'm not sure if there was another Gran Turismo that was also locked on a single generation of PlayStation. But they never ported this. So it's just like in purgatory.
That's the story with a lot of PS3 games.
Yeah.
Every Metal Gear Solid fan is going, I know one.
Right.
But no, Konami decides to remake Metal Gear Solid 3. Okay, Konami.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities. A game that we can easily get.
Don't give the people what they want.
No. Why would you do that, Konami? The other day, as of when we're recording this, there was a Konami Direct the other day, like where they, kind of like the Nintendo Directs and the Sony States of Play, but it was all Konami doing it. They announced a new Gradius collection and they showed off the new Metal Gear, and they showed off, I don't know, probably a dozen different games. No Castlevania. Not even fucking Whisper. Like, that's your flagship.
Is it? Is it?
It used to be. I know, I'm showing my age here.
Like 30 years ago.
I know. I just really miss Castlevania, damn it. I mean, Bloodstain's a really good imitation of it, but damn it, I want Castlevania.
They have to remake Metal Gear Solid 800 times until we hate it.
That's the truth. All right. Before I sit here and chew on my tongue, move on to the next one. My next game is Dark Wizard from the Sega CD. It was already doomed to obscurity because it's on the Sega CD, and Sega only remembers that they have the Genesis. And the only game that they remember that they have on the Sega CD is Sonic. That they could not give a shit about anything else. So that already condemns this game, unfortunately. But this is a strategy RPG. So think Final Fantasy Tactics or Ogre Battle. The idea of it is that you take charge of one of 4 characters that's trying to liberate this kingdom called Cheshire from the evil dark wizard Velanese. Each character has unique traits unto themselves and unique units that they send into battle. And each character has their own storyline that never intersects with the other. So there's a prince, there's a cavalry leader, there's a sorceress, and there's a vampire. Your unit, like if you pick the cavalry leader, for instance, you've got soldiers and pikemen and crossbow guys and shit like that. If you pick the vampire, you've got the undead and hydras and just a weird assortment of monsters. So everyone's got these different units, and then the traits that each individual leader has can influence different magic and different things that they can do. And each story of the 4 is unique and never crosses over with the other. So if you want to see all 4 stories, you have to play the game and beat it 4 times, which I've never been able to finish. But because it's an insanely long game. Battles take for a long time, but it's addictive and fun still. And I miss it. All right, what's your next one?
I picked Bloodborne for the PS4. This is like a goth favorite game, but it's been stuck on PS4 for forever. And what the best part about this is that PC players can't play it, so they cry into their modded Skyrim builds to try to emulate this game that they can't play. But there's no PC port, nothing. Just cobblestone, blood, and sadness. So if you want to die in Victorian England over and over again, you have to do it on the PS4 because Sony hates happiness and it likes to keep games stuck.
I'm surprised you picked this one considering how vocal you are about hating Soulsborne games.
Well, I played it, so.
Was it the atmosphere that helped it get over the hump?
I don't like these kinds of games.
Oh, so You didn't play it, you said.
I did play this game.
Okay, you're picking it because of its notoriety.
I'm picking it because my knowledge of games that are stuck on a single console that meet the requirements of this topic that I've played are slim.
Fair.
Not because they're my favorite game.
Fair. I deserve that for inflicting this difficult topic. My next game is from the PS1. It is Colony Wars. This is the first game in a series. There was 3 of them on the PS1. It's a space flight, dogfighting kind of game. Think like X-Wing or TIE Fighter. It's just in an original universe. The thing that made Colony Wars really interesting is that it was a branching path story. And it didn't branch based on your decisions. It branched based upon your success or failure. So if the mission was like, escort this medical frigate to the front line to get the battle wounded out of harm's way, and you fail and the medical frigate blows up, the game keeps going. You get to the next stage, and now you have to deal with the repercussions of your mission failure. Or, if you succeed, then you deal with what that brings. I don't know why they went and made 3 games and then just have never touched it again, because it's such a neat idea, or why they've never re-released it. It seems like such a no-brainer, but I don't know. Sony, they hate fun.
They really do.
Jesus Christ, Sony. You make it so hard to want to buy your shit. All right, what's the next one for you?
All right, this one technically is coming out also on the Switch too, but I don't care because it's not out on the Switch too yet. And it's one of my favorite games. It's my favorite Mario game, Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. And I feel like it's like the most divisive 3D Mario ever made. Some people, you have a backpack and it has like different, it's a flood attachment with water and you can get different nozzles for it and it can do different things. Some people love the flood mechanics, or they think it's like Mario with a bidet stuck to his back. But I loved this GameCube exclusive. But yeah, there's going to be a lazy port collection for the Switch dropping. But I love this game. I love the maps. I liked the flood mechanics of the game. There's like this one hotel map. This is like a big game in my childhood, so it's definitely nostalgic. But the whole game's kind of tropical feeling, but it's like this one hotel that's on like a little tiny island and the sun setting in the background. I love everything about this game. Love it.
You do not need to defend Super Mario Sunshine for me.
A lot of people don't like it. I don't know why. I love it.
I think a lot of people don't like it when Nintendo takes risks with their IPs and does something different.
True.
They just want Mario over and over again doing the same thing. And look at what are the 2 black sheep games of, I know there's like millions of side games, but like mainline Mario games, what are the black sheeps? Super Mario 2, Super Mario Sunshine. The 2 that did weird shit.
That's true. I loved it.
Oh yeah, I love Super Mario Sunshine. I think it's a great game. It's mechanically a little wonky on every now and then, but it's not wonky enough to piss me off. It's got its own flavor that I just have to get used to and stop going. I have to stop wanting Mario to behave like other Mario games, and just Super Mario Sunshine's a game where you have to meet it where it is. My wife would absolutely agree. She had a GameCube and she beat every level. She got, I can't remember what the items that you collect in Sunshine are. It's not Sunshine Sprites.
Yeah, the sprites.
Is it Sunshine Sprites?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She got them all. She 100%ed that game.
Wow. I did not.
She does not fuck around when it comes. She doesn't play games often, but when she gets into a game, she will not stop until she bleeds that game dry of everything. She 100%ed Sunshine. She 100%ed Galaxy. She 100%ed Galaxy 2. There's a reason why she doesn't play often, is because she gets so obsessed that she needs to beat everything about the game. And it's honestly kind of adorable, but I know that it just drives it raises her anxiety. So I'm like, it's okay if you don't play. Power down.
Love that.
All right. My next game is the other game that really drove this list. It is Tempest 3000.
Are you kidding me?
No. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead first.
No, go ahead. I'm not saying anything.
No, you're gonna say something once.
No, I'm not. This is America.
I don't mind you arguing with me. It's fine. I'm a sucker for the Tempest games. I've loved them since I was a kid. And I love Tempest 2000 on the Jaguar. But I have both 2000 and 4000. 3000, though, is stuck on something called the Nuon, which was sort of a video game platform that was built into a select number of DVD players in the early 2000s. And there's only 8 official games, but strangely, there's a homebrew scene that has developed another 4. So, if you're one of the 10,000 people that have a Nuon, congrats, your library has grown by 50%. Tempest 3000 is the middle child that has been stuck on the Nuon. It's more, if you've played Tempest 2000, you played Tempest 4000, Tempest 3000 would be the middle step. It's the same kind of fast driving, weird shooter the Tempest is, where you're locked into that little geometric shape and you're rotating around it and shooting people down the tube, and the high adrenaline techno music in the background. Great soundtrack. And Atari has just let it sit there. And I want it, damn it, just because I want the other Tempest game. So what were you going to say?
No, I'm not saying anything. I don't want to be a hater right now.
Oh, it's fine. Be a hater.
No.
I shake my fist at you.
That's fine. You just could have picked 2 cooler games to put me through suffering for, but, whatever.
I picked them because they're incredibly obscure.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to pick something off the NES, which I did. But, who talks about the fucking Nuon?
Literally nobody.
Exactly. And we're all about exploring dark corners of gaming history. So when else are we going to get the chance to talk about the Nuon? This is the one and only time we will probably ever bring up the Nuon.
Thank God for that.
Unless I can find some weird Nuon enthusiast, I guess. I don't know that those people exist. So
I was going to make a joke, but I don't want to offend anybody. I was going to say they're probably dead by now.
Nuon's not that old. All right, what's your next one?
I picked Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Switch. Because the Switch, this game came out in COVID and we're all stuck on lockdown. So I feel like this game ate the world. You couldn't buy toilet paper, but you could grind for digital peaches and yell at Tom Nook. Nintendo literally pretended like this was a live service game, and then they ghosted it after dropping 1 update. It's still only on the Switch, and it's going to stay there until Nintendo decides to make you start over for the 5th time when they make another Animal Crossing. And then that one will be stuck on the Switch too, probably.
It was weird how they dropped support for that game.
Literally out of nowhere and very quickly. And it was really popular. So that was weird.
Yeah, they did that a lot on games on the Switch, but they usually did it with games that didn't sell well. Like Nintendo Switch Sports was supposed to have 3 or 4 other sports added to it, and they added 1 and then looked at the sales numbers and went, well, fuck it, why bother? But like you said, Animal Crossing was, during lockdown, fucking everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what they were thinking there.
I don't know either.
I think they bit off. I think Nintendo often bites off more than they can chew, and they should maybe not release consoles or handhelds as soon as they do, because it's kind of obvious when the Switch came out, and I feel like it was the same with the Wii U, that maybe they could have waited a bit. Was it the Wii U or was the Wii U where there were like no games for it at first, like none at all.
The Wii U had a big launch lineup, but it was like a
Not game.
weirdly,
Yeah.
it was weirdly empty launch lineup.
Yeah.
Like they had 24 games and you'll forget 22 of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I feel like they kind of did that with the Switch too. They released like Luigi's Mansion 2, which was, I'm sorry, that game was fucking ass. And then I feel like it kind of just fizzled out. I don't think I'm going to get the Switch 2. I feel like it'll be a letdown.
If I do, it's going to be wait till the price comes down, put out some games that justify it. Because right now, a bunch of ports and Mario Kart World ain't it. Not even by a long shot.
Yeah.
All right. My next game is from the PlayStation 3. And this one's a super obscure game. It was originally a Japanese exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much call for it to get imported to the States. And eventually they did, but they only put it on the digital store. So if you didn't download it, and I don't know if the PS3 store is still around, it might be, maybe. But if it's not, you're out of luck. If it's up, I highly recommend getting it. It's called Tokyo Jungle. The idea behind it is that it is a post-apocalyptic game. The jungle, the wildlife has taken, like all humanity is gone. And wildlife has reclaimed the cities. And you play as an animal. And you are trying to survive getting through the city and possibly finding puzzle pieces to see what happened to humanity. There's a free play mode where you don't have to do that. But the story mode is kind of driven towards that. The two things that make Tokyo Jungle interesting, one is that to continue on, because the world is decaying and there is some radiation and there are other animals that can attack you, you have to find another animal of your species and breed. And that's how you keep going on, is through breeding and new babies, which can be tricky depending on the animal you get. And the other aspect of it that makes it really fun, especially in free mode, is that you can pick from 60 different animals. There's everything, and it's split into herbivores and carnivores. So if you want to go the peaceful route, you could be a deer, you could be an armadillo, you could be an anteater, small or fast, but mostly defenseless. But that brings up its own challenges, because then you have to feed based on the environment, and the environment is often toxic. Or you could be a carnivore, and the carnivores range from a Pomeranian to a velociraptor and everything in between. And each one has its own strengths and weaknesses. A bear is very hard to kill, but he's also slower than shit and can't catch a deer, whereas a German shepherd can catch a deer, but might not be big enough to kill one. So the variety of animals helps you have a whole lot of different play styles. It's a fun, interesting, and weird game. Like I said, if the store's up, highly recommend it. It wasn't an expensive game at the time. I don't think it was more than like $20. So yeah, if it's up, get it.
That game sounds so strange.
It is. It's really strange, but it's fun. There's just something interesting about playing as an animal and having to think as an animal and having to court another animal.
Oh my God, that's so fucking weird.
Yeah. Fortunately, you don't see two deer fucking or anything. It's just like if you can court them and you can get them back to a nest, then it just kind of fades to black. And when it fades back up, the parents are gone and the babies are there, and you take control of one of the babies, and now you've got to get it to grow. You got to get it to feed, and yeah. Very weird, but it's original. I think that's what I really like about it most, is that there's no other game like Tokyo Jungle. All right.
I'm just picturing somebody playing this game. Sorry, it's kind of funny to me.
Oh, look it up. Well, I'd say look it up on YouTube. It's interesting.
I will.
And like I said, if the store is still up, I haven't been on the PS3 and checked the store out for a long time, but I remember a couple years ago they threatened to close it, and then the fans went ballistic, and they said they were going to keep it up. And I don't remember if they said if it was for an indefinite period of time or if there was going to be a drop dead date. So, but if it is, it can't be, like I said, I think it was $20 when I got it, and that was a long time ago. It can't be more than that.
Interesting.
All right. I think we both got one game left, right?
Yeah, I have one left.
All right. What's your last one?
This was one of my favorite games as a child. I still have my Dreamcast, but I don't know like if my mom maybe accidentally traded this in or what, but I lost the game. I thought about this game for decades, not decades, but for a long time. Couldn't figure out what it was and had like a very vague description of it. And finally an angel on Reddit was like, I think you're talking about this game. And it's Pen Trisalon. So you race like essentially as a bunch of mutated penguin creatures through really cool obstacle courses that feel like a Nickelodeon fever dream. Like there's like a spooky one, there's like a snowy one. It was a Dreamcast launch title and it never left. A lot of people don't like this game. I don't fucking care. I love it. It's bizarre. It's cool. It's fun. It's cute. It's quirky. It's nostalgic. It's a good time. Will it be the best game you ever played? No, but it's fun.
I'm looking at it right now on Wikipedia.
I love it.
This is a fever dream.
Right? It's honestly so much fun. I got to find the spooky level. That was my favorite one. Really, that one was actually really neat looking.
Like, this is just a bizarre idea, but at the same time, this is so Sega in the best way. Like, this is the bold, give no shits, throw everything the wall and see what sticks Sega that I kind of miss.
I think it's called Halloween Road.
This is so...
It's such a good game. I'm serious. I love it.
I'm looking at this really wishing that it would come out on another system because this is just...
Right? It looks amazing. It's so good.
I appreciate a game that embraces insanity like this.
It's so unhinged.
I mean, that's what Katamari Damacy is. It's just, here's a really stupid, insane idea, and we're going all the way with it. I appreciate when a game does that.
Yeah, that game is insane, but I love them all.
Yeah, me too. I want to get the new game. Have you seen the new game that the guy who made Katamari Damacy has made?
Mm-mm.
It's called To a T. T. It's about a boy who, I don't remember how adolescent age, maybe. He is stuck in a T pose.
What the fuck?
Yeah. He lives life. He wakes up and he's stuck in a T pose. So his arms are like straight out.
He's 13 apparently, according to Steam. Sorry.
And so the whole idea is you've got to get him through life stuck in a T pose.
I'm watching a trailer now, and at one point he's just having water squirted into his eye with his arms out like a T. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I don't either, but it's from the guy who made Katamari Damacy, so he has my attention.
That guy has to just think of shit on acid because what? The developer is Uvula LLC. A uvula? Interesting.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
There's definitely some layers to that.
But it's just so original. You can't help but appreciate it. Even if it doesn't play good, you can't help but appreciate the balls of that kind of game.
It has good reviews, so 116, very positive. And it just came out like 3 weeks ago.
It's been on my wish list since release day. Gonna be getting that soon. I'm sure that the first playthrough will be nerve-wracking because just like Katamari Damacy, that first gameplay loop always is. But then once you get used to it, you could just go back and fuck around with the game, and it's just a complete chill.
Yeah.
Like that. It is the Katamari Damacy is my chill game. So the whole idea that this could be a new chill game is just sounds fun. All right, my last game is stranded on the Wii U. Probably Nintendo's at this point most useless console. I say that because 95% of the first party games that they released have been ported to the Switch. So there's almost no point in going back and getting a Wii U. This game would be one of the reasons, and that is NES Remix. I am so shocked that this game has never been re-released. Whole idea of the game is that they took games from the NES and they kind of turned them into a parade of mini games.
Oh, that's smart.
Oh yeah, it's such a brilliant idea. And the remix part also comes into the fact that in some of them they swap characters out. So you will play the level 1-1 of the original Super Mario Brothers as Link, or you will play Link in the original Metroid, or shit like that, where they swap around characters and you now have to use the different mechanics within that new level. Or they found ways to make like the original baseball and volleyball good by like hit a home run. Well, now you've got like a minute to hit a home run in baseball. So they took these games that even games that may not have aged well, they've recontextualized them and made bite-sized goals that are far easier to achieve, and it becomes kind of a personal quest. You know, how can I accomplish this goal in this short amount of time? And they did they did an NES Remix 1 and 2. For the life of me, I don't get how they didn't re-release these, because this sounds like such a perfect thing to put on the Switch.
Yeah, it probably would have done really well. Also, I mean, that's something that I would get.
Right? Like of all the other things that they re-released, there's only like 5, I think, first-person games or first-party games, I should say, that they didn't re-release, and those are 2 of them. And of all of the ones not to, if you're going to re-release Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, why not this?
Nintendo doesn't make sense.
No. You know what it is to me? I can't pin it fully on this aspect, but, and I'm not saying that Nintendo was the greatest company on earth prior to this, but when Reggie Fils-Aimé was still there, they had a little more personality and a little more daring do and a little more spunk to them. And since he left, they've been kind of bland and safe and very corporate. Again, I can't say that it's all because Reggie Fils-Aimé left, but man, the flavor of them has just kind of changed since he left. And I couldn't even tell you who's in charge now.
Who knows?
Right. Who knows? Faceless suit.
Probably.
Come back, Reggie. We miss you.
We're going to get sued.
Nintendo's going to be like, would you shut the fuck up about us?
They would be the ones that do it.
Hey, we haven't posted any footage of their games, so they can't take hit us with a DMCA notice.
It's so crazy to me that they do that to streamers, because streamers literally encourage people to buy games. Like the newest game I'm playing, I bought because I saw streamers playing it and I was like, this looks amazing. Bought.
Right. Streamers are like free advertisement. I don't get why any game company would complain about a streamer showing off a game.
I don't know. Nintendo's always been like a very strict. I feel like they've been kind of like the most uptight out of gaming companies. I don't know.
When they want to be, yes. Like sometimes they're very loose and goofy and weird, but it's to suit them. And when they don't want to be, they're the biggest buzzkills. All right. We've reached the end of the show. This is the part where we say, please like our show, share it with your friends, Subscribe on your platform of choice and leave a review wherever you can to help us in the algorithm. If you'd like to interact with us, Blue Sky and Instagram, First Gen Gamers Pod. The email is firstgengamerspod@gmail.com. I'm also on Blue Sky at Streets of Jed. Your turn.
If that pod on TikTok, if that _pod on Instagram.
All right. That ends another episode. Until next time, everyone.